Hello.
My eyes are up here.
Is he asking me on a date?
Sure. Oh, you mean him.
She didn't seem that impressed.
And you, maybe. When I first saw the trailer for Passengers, it looked like just another cliched sci-fi movie. But let me tell you first and foremost, the trailers have lied. This is not really a science fiction movie. In fact, I'd compare it more closely to a romantic comedy in space.
You two look fine this evening.
We're on a date.
Very nice.
Took you long enough to ask.
We first meet Chris Pratt's character Jim Preston when he's woken up 90 years early due to a faulty hibernation pod on board the intergalactic cruise ship Avalon. He soon discovers that he's the only one awake, with his only companion being an incredibly lifelike android named Arthur, played by Michael Sheen, the ship's bartender whose knowledge miraculously extends far beyond the drinks he serves. The movie conveniently throws up lots of blockages like rooms that can't be accessed or things that Jim just can't do, because apparently classism and capitalism is still alive and well however far into the future we are. Still, it does add to Jim's plight, and the film does a good job of showing his descent into isolation and loneliness, giving him enough motivation so when he does eventually decide to wake someone up to keep him company, it doesn't come straight out of left field. After his depression nearly causes him to commit suicide, the discovery of Aurora Lane, played by Jennifer Lawrence, and her hibernation pod saves his life, as he mentions later in the film. The film spends a lot of time showing Jim agonizing over the decision to wake her up, technically condemning her to the same fate as him, to never reach their destination. And when the shit eventually does hit the fan and Aurora does learn of Jim's folly, this love story is turned on its head, and Jennifer Lawrence gives a perfect performance as she reacts exactly how you would expect someone in her situation to. As in all good romantic films, a near-catastrophic event brings the two former lovers back together, just in time for them to realise how much they do care for each other. It's during this sequence of events that we meet Lawrence Fishburne's character Gus Mancuso, the chief deck officer who conveniently seems to know a lot more about the ship than someone in his role probably should. In any case, it allows the story to move along, and he is able to give the two main characters enough information to solve the mechanical problems plaguing the ship before conveniently disappearing from the story altogether. This is the closest the film gets to being the action-oriented science fiction film the trailers made it out to be, and it did have me on the edge of my seat a few times wondering about the fates of both characters at different points. However, this sequence, which I had been waiting for since the start and had been building up from the very beginning of the film, ends up being a bit anticlimactic. Everything seems to be resolved far too quickly, and things return to normal a bit too easily for my liking.
Wow.
You clean up pretty good yourself.
Yes, Passengers is a good film, but don't come into it expecting the next event Horizon or Sunshine. In fact, every time the film started to feel like it was getting a bit slow, I'd just remind myself that I was watching a romantic comedy. I'd probably compare it more to Titanic in space, without the nudity. Unless you count Chris Pratt's butt.